Keep it going for Drew, guys. Keep it going for Drew, please. Oh, man. Before I start my story, I just would like to say hello to the black people that are here. How you doing? How's it going? I see you up there, brother. I see you back there. The two sisters, I see you back there, lady back. I see you. I just want you to know that, like, I got you, you know? Just in case they're like, get him. You know, we're good. You guys can get out. That's... I want to take you guys back to 2001. Take you guys back to 2001 when Jinko jeans ruled the world. You know, you remember Jinko jeans, those big ass jeans for no fucking reason. You know what I mean? You can stuff anything in them. You just got like you stuff popcorn in them. You know, you can stuff drinks in them. You can stuff migrant families in them. Like you can just go anywhere the fuck that you want to go. You know. Also, if you liked you know, corn, it just wasn't the vegetable. You know, this just was the band that you liked. And if you like, you know, if you were down with biscuits, they were limp. That's kind of, you know, it's kind of what it was back in the day. And now as like current 30 and 40 somethings, we all want to break shit and get a little nookie. That's really what we want to do at this point, you know. It's 2001, and there goes little 16-year-old Vernon, you know, goth kid Vernon. I wore like black fishnet shirts, black eyeliner, black fingernail polish. I was what they call hot topic chic. You know what I mean? That's what I was. That's what I was called at the time. And so I had a crush on this girl named Tina that I went to high school with, and she was like this, like 5 foot tall, beautiful, like Italian girl, like, you know, she was awesome. She had like this, like the goth look of like Abby from NCIS, you know, and she had the attitude of Sophia from Golden Girls. You know what I mean? Like someone that can tell you like shut the fuck up, but like in a loving way. You know what I mean? Like that's who I liked. And you know, like she was just a fucking you know, just a very, very cool person. And like it wasn't just like how she looked that I like. It was her ambition. You know, she wanted to be a forensic scientist. I had no clue what the fuck that was. You know, like on Saturday mornings, you know, she is watching Forensic Files, and I am watching Saved by the Bell. She's hoping like one day that like, you know, she can catch killers, you know, and I'm hoping that just one day, Screech can kiss Lisa. Like you understand? Like there's this two different forms of, you know, things going on there. But like, you know, I liked her, so like through like people passing notes between like her friends and myself, the last day of school, June 13th, we became boyfriend and girlfriend. Yes. And we spend mostly every day of that summer together. Spend mostly every day of the summer together, and it was dope. And every day that we spent together, something started to come over me. I realized that I was falling in love with Tina. And one day, coming home after hanging out at the city pool, we're on the train, and I wanted to tell Tina that I loved her. But something was stopping me from telling her that because I didn't know how she would feel, if she would give me that same energy back. And my energy was very weird. And she kind of caught on to that. And she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm still not sure if I should tell her. And I got the balls and I said, hey, I think I love you. And a second goes by, and she's like, I love you too. Now, if any like Samuel L. Jackson motherfucker came up and was like, I will kill any motherfucker right now who's in love, I'd be like, take me as tribute, son, like kill me right now, you know? That's what I would do. And, but when she told me that she loved me, I knew that I would spend the rest of my life with this person. Or so that I thought. In August of that year, my close friend and my neighbor, Amy, she had invited me to like a party, like a birthday party for her sister, so I went. And Amy and I, we were just cool friends. Like I didn't think anything of Amy in that way, nothing at all. Cause she was just like the cool girl, you know, around the block. She had that she's all that type of look, you know what I mean? Where just like unkempt hair and like the 1980s like grandma glasses from back in like that's what it was in like the 2000s baggy fit. I didn't think like she looked like, you know how like back in the day when like they would have those like Pantene Pro V commercials and shit, whatever, you know what I mean? Or the girl's like, it's like, oh, it's maybe the shampoo. Nah, nigga, it's the fucking, it's the shower head, son. Like that's really what it is, you know? But, you know, but this day it was different, you know? This day, like she had like, her hair was straight. She had like the contacts in, and I was like, oh shit, Amy is like, she's fucking beautiful. And I'm with Tina. Like, I don't know how to feel with this whole entire thing. I don't know what to do. And me and Amy started hanging out a little bit more, and something that was like so innocent just kind of became very real in this moment, and I don't know what to do. School comes back around like in September, and you know, me and Amy are still hanging out, but also me and Amy are actually taking the train to school together almost every day. And everything that's still innocent is still kind of becoming a little bit more real than I need to be. So like when we get to school, we would all kind of hang out right before the classes start. And Tina started to pick up on something between us because I was not the best at keeping that shit a secret, you know? And it became so real that I knew that I had to tell Tina how I felt. So one day after school, I take Tina to the park, and I sit her down on the bench, and I hold her hand. And Tina and I were really great friends, and she introduced me to like a lot of cool shit. Like I love this person. Like she was awesome. She was the first person to introduce me to like the TV show Friends, right? And I like the TV show Friends, which I am about in 1 in 5 black people who would say that out loud. You know, I think the TV show Friends is dope. You know what I mean? Like, but you guys have no idea how hard it is when your black friends are going through problems, and you're just like, oh shit, yeah, that's just like Ross and Rachel. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh shit, Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, son. Like that's what, you know what I mean? And by the way, like, I agree with Ross. They were on a break, all right? Just get the shit over, you know? Uh, so like I take Tina to the take Tina to the park, and I hold her hand, and I look in her eye, and it takes a second for me to like tell her something, and I look at her face, and I say, I'm not sure if I love you anymore. But that's not how I felt, but I had no idea how to like really say it, you know? And she's crying. She knew it. She felt it. And she's crying, and I'm crying because this is the first time like I've ever felt love like this before. It's the first time I ever felt like romantic love before. And now I just told this person something that just breaks her heart. And she's crying, and I'm crying, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Because in this moment, like, all I've ever done was just kind of make her happy, make her laugh, do whatever. And in this moment, I'm thinking to myself, how do I make this a little bit better? And I think WWRGD. What would Ross Geller do? So I was like, all right, maybe like we should do like Ross and Rachel, like maybe we should go on a break, right? You know what I mean? And like she like laughed at that a little bit, and then I was like, all right, cool, like this buys me a little bit of time. And she's like, she agreed to going on a break. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna have some time to kind of like figure this out. Or so I thought. See, unbeknownst to me, my mom had plans to move the family to Albany, New York. I had no idea. And just like when anyone tells you that they're moving to anywhere, like say, I'm moving to Florida, it's the same idea as like when someone says I'm moving to Albany or Florida, you're like, why? That's really the question, why the fuck are you doing that, Because Albany is like a colder, racist Florida. That's really what it is, right? So my mom is like, we're moving to Albany like 2 months later. And the time that I thought I had to fix the thing that I just broken with Tina, I had no time to do. So we moved to Albany, and within like, a month or two, Tina and I break up because long distance doesn't really help you mend something. And we break up. And for so many years, I have held on to the fact that I broke this person's heart. For so many years, it was just a thing. And I remember like one of the days when I was like, hey, do you think that like we have a chance to get back together? She's like, maybe at some point. I'm just holding on to that maybe. In 2013, I moved back to Brooklyn, New York to continue doing comedy because I was doing comedy for a while. And I moved back to Brooklyn. I moved back 10 blocks away from where I told her that I didn't love her anymore. And I kept thinking to myself, like, what if I see her one day and like, whatever. Nearly a year goes by, and I'm walking to work, and there she goes. I see Tina, still short. She looks like a Marissa Tomei mixed with Marilyn Manson type style again. You know what I mean? She's like walking. I'm like, oh shit, there you go. And we end up talking, and we exchange numbers, but like I don't hear from her for months. And then that next year, like 2015, she like adds me on social media, and I'm like, oh shit. I've been searching for you for fucking 12 years, and now you're on social media. Like, what's going on? And so we ended up talking. So like we started hanging out. We started hanging out and doing things, and like shortly after we started dating. And I'm like, this is my chance to get this back like it was before. Started hanging out, and like it was just almost exactly how it was when we broke things off all those years ago. Like, we still have the same personality. We like the same music. We have this weird obsession with Charles Manson. Like, it's just weird. There's just really some really weird shit that's there, you know? Goth kid shit, you know? And we like started hanging out more and more, and I'm like, oh shit, like I think I still feel the same way. Like I'm falling for you again. And one day, Tina and I, we went to her apartment to hang out, and we're watching, you know, I Love Lucy. And then it got really late, and I was like, hey, can I like hang out? Can I like sleep over? And she was like, yeah, sure, you know? So I'm like, oh shit, who knew that I Love Lucy was the gateway to fucking? Like who knew that, right? You know what I mean? I didn't know. That Vegemite shit works, son, like for real, you know? So like, yeah, we had sex 13 years later. Talking about playing the long game, son, like this is what it was, you know what I mean? Like this, you know? And it was great, and I was like, all right, like I'm all in it. But I do have to say, for like a good year, it was on and off between us. It was very on and off between us because you really didn't know. And then as this was happening, subconsciously, I was writing this show. I was writing an hour version of what you're hearing now. And I was doing like a run, like a good like three-day run of this show. And I had invited her to one of the shows. Yeah, I know. I invited her to the show, and you know, all our high school friends were there that we all were friends with and cool with. And she heard the show. And she heard almost everything that you guys are hearing now up until like a real ending. And a day goes by after the show, and she's like, I don't feel the same way. And that hit me. I was like, damn. Because I was hoping to get back to where I was at that time. You know, like I had broke someone's heart. I seen you again, and this is our chance to get back what we lost and all that times. And it didn't work out. And that shit was very tough to handle. But as I think about it more, I don't think that I fell in love with her again. I think that she was grandfathered into the way that I felt about her from all those years ago. I was in this nostalgia moment. And that's really what it was. And to this day, her and I don't talk anymore. She's off being happy with whatever the fuck she's being happy with, right? And that sucks, you know, because she really meant a lot to me. But as I think about it more, I appreciate that time that we had together because I got to relive something that most of us don't. I got to relive a teenage love. Thank you, guys.
Vernon Payne.